Pikmin 4 is an absolute failure of a Pikmin game, and an insult to the masterpieces that came before it. However, everybody is too busy choking on Nintendo's fat red cock to notice. Seriously, what the hell? Have these people never played a Pikmin game before? One more video calling Pikmin 4 a masterpiece and I'm going to fucking lose it. I get it. Us Pikmin fans are starving, but this isn't Pikmin. It's Ochi featuring Pikmin. Pikmin's story has always been incredibly engaging. The world and characters all came together to create an unforgettable experience. Each game built off the other in a way that was narratively satisfying. That's why Pikmin 4 retcons all of it. The world of Pikmin always followed one rule: humanity is dead. All man-made structures are either buried or really buried. This was Pikmin's identity. It's why everything in the games was the way it was. That's why when I see Olimar exploring a house, I wonder why 3-year-old me ever got into video games in the first place. This goes against everything that made Pikmin so unique. No more serene landscapes that are as mysterious as they are beautiful, now you're exploring a backyard. I'm guessing this is so little kids can go, hey, it's just like my house. Well, Nintendo, when I play a game, I don't want it to be my house, because reality is fucking boring. Also makes the level design feel really artificial. Who has a backyard like this? In Pikmin 4, a rescue team sent to help Captain Olimar ends up crashing as well. And now you have to help refuel the ship's energy supply by collecting a bunch of treasures and using their sparklium. Wait a second. This is just Hey Pikmin! Good job, guys! You copied the plot of the worst Pikmin game. At least that was a spin-off. Sparklium is complete bullshit. There's no satisfaction from magically turning a playing card into dust. It's completely artificial, and does a disservice to what should be incredibly interesting artifacts. However, there is satisfaction from finding treasures and selling them on your home planet. Getting to see how much it's worth, what the ship names it, examining the design, and recognizing a real-life brand. None of that is in Pikmin 4. Game Boy doesn't count, it's a Nintendo product, it feels forced in this case. There's also another plot dealing with a sickness that turns people into leaf people. That could have been interesting if it wasn't for the... Pikmin's characters are all incredibly well made. I can only imagine why. Each one has a distinct personality and design. The dialogue both naturally expands the backstories of the characters and never fails to get a chuckle out of me. This isn't to say the games don't take themselves seriously, however. Pikmin is very mature. In the original Pikmin, Olimar is left stranded on an alien planet with 30 days to escape, with no chance of being rescued. All he wants is to go back home and see his family. These are some very personal stakes that really drive the player to beat the game. Each log entry he writes shows him going through the stages of grief. This is all to say Pikmin has always had very realistic characters and conflicts. Now how does Pikmin 4 ruin all of this? In Pikmin 4, you play as yourself. Well, so much for getting to play as a captain with a unique background and personality. Now you get to be a soulless husk meant to represent you! If any of these awful character creation options can actually allow it. You know what? Maybe it isn't all that bad. Playing as yourself could really accentuate the lonely atmosphere of the games. Wow, 5 minutes in and I've already found someone who won't shut the fuck up! Pikmin 4 decides to innovate on the formula by having so many characters that it rivals the amount of Pikmin you can have at once. Each character is one-dimensional. They do one thing and one thing only. That's bound to happen when you have over 43. They don't have any appealing designs either. It looks like they all unlocked a secret disability option in the character creator. Olimar has been turned into a manlet who just has the absolute best commentary. There's no place left to run, Louie. It's time to give up and give in. Remember in Pikmin 1 how he knew no one would be able to rescue him in time and saved himself through his sheer wit and ingenuity? Too bad that was retconned. He's still the best character though, just because he got all of that development in the old game. Not this one, the old one. Louie has just become evil. I'm not really sure why he's here. He wasn't in Pikmin 1 or the Pikmin 4 intro. However, the worst part about the characters is how they affect the... Every game has to teach the player how to play in some way, be it via letting the player experiment in a controlled environment, naturally telling the tutorial through the story, or constantly having characters nag you throughout the entire game. The main tutorial for Pikmin 4 lasts as long as the entirety of the first game, and after that they still don't stop. Every single shred of atmosphere Pikmin 4 has is completely ruined by characters popping up to tell you the obvious. Fuck you, Colin. Pikmin 4 decides to make a massive change to the Pikmin formula. You no longer have a cap of 100 Pikmin, but a cap of 20 that you slowly increase throughout your playthrough. This is an awful design decision. The challenge and strategy of a Pikmin game came from managing 100 on the field. Starting with a limit of 20 restricts player strategy and possible multitasking opportunities, the fundamental building blocks of a Pikmin game. Having such a small amount of Pikmin makes the game completely brain dead. You have so little options presented to you, and increasing the limit isn't satisfying when you're getting to the level you started at in the previous games. You aren't even able to increase the limit past 100, which could have made it feel a bit less insulting. Pikmin 4 also decides to limit the amount of different Pikmin types you can have on the field to 3. Some people are saying this is a good change because it makes the game harder. These people are fucking retarded. A bunch of the difficulty and strategy of Pikmin came from managing a bunch of different types at once, all with different strengths and weaknesses. By limiting the amount of Pikmin types to 3, you are restricting player creativity and decreasing possible level design opportunities. This restricts the possible complexity of puzzles and combat, making them more boring as a result. The worlds in Pikmin 4 are boring. The development team seems to have taken a page out of Breath of the Wild's book and have made everything way too big. This doesn't mean there's more content, however. There's still the same, if not less. It's just spread farther apart. This makes exploration even more tedious. It's why they added the option to move your base. The levels in the past games were all incredibly compact with stuff to do. Even the distant spring, the largest and most open world in Pikmin 1, is smaller than the first world in Pikmin 4. Items like bomb rocks are now purchasable items, changing a natural element of progression and an incredibly useful weapon into what is basically any other item in any other game. This also carries over to building materials. Instead of finding specific materials throughout the map, you instead find blue crystals, which are a sort of currency. You can spend that currency to build new pathways. This feels more unnatural and also requires much less thought compared to trying to find the specific parts you need in the world. The bosses in Pikmin 4 are okay, probably because most of them were copied from the last 3 games. However, compared to Pikmin 3, the bosses are a lot less dynamic. They interact less with the environment, making them feel a lot more repetitive. The game was in development for nearly a decade, and they couldn't give us a single boss on the same level as the first boss in Pikmin 3. I'd say the best quote-unquote new boss in Pikmin 4 is the groovy Longlegs, not because it's funny or anything, but because it's genuinely terrifying. Pikmin 4 completely removes any of the impact of mass Pikmin genocide by allowing the player to rewind time by an entire minute at a moment's notice. This is completely insane. Past games already let you go back and retry a day, and in Pikmin 2 you could restart at the beginning of any floors you messed up on. However, being able to rewind time by a minute whenever you want completely ruins any sense of impact messing up could have, which completely breaks your immersion. Measuring whether it was worth it to continue the day or restart after a huge loss was a part of the challenge. Moments like this carry no weight when there's no real punishment. New Pikmin types are a mixed bag. Ice Pikmin are alright. Design-wise, they're incredibly bland. They're basically just rock Pikmin but blue. Their ability to freeze water is a cool idea in theory, but in practice it's both really overpowered and also incredibly useless. Being able to freeze water almost completely ruins any use cases for blue Pikmin. However, the amount of ice Pikmin you actually need to freeze the surface of water tends to be so large that you can't feasibly do it without severely impacting the Pikmin variety in your party, especially early on. I will say having a support Pikmin is a good idea, and having a separate meter to freeze the enemies is really cool, but it's really poorly balanced. Ice Pikmin freeze creatures way too fast, and it can completely trivialize a fight if you have a high Pikmin count. I'm guessing this is because of the small Pikmin limit. If Ice Pikmin froze enemies really slowly, then early on they'd be completely useless, but if they froze enemies really quickly, they'd always be useful. Personally, I would have counteracted this with really strong diminishing returns. The more Ice Pikmin that you have attacking, the less each one increases the meter. Fortunately, Ice Pikmin deal very little damage, making it so having a full team of them isn't encouraged. Glow Pikmin are an absolute mess. Design-wise, they're actually pretty good. They stand out from the other types visually, and I like how they look like ghosts. Unlike other Pikmin, you can generate Glow Pikmin at any time by throwing their seeds into the ground. This makes an unlimited amount of them accessible at any time. Luckily, they still count as regular Pikmin, meaning you can't grow more if you already have 100 on the field. Also, unlike other Pikmin, Glow Pikmin can turn into a giant spirit bomb that completely obliterates everything in their path. Also, unlike other Pikmin, when Glow Pikmin go idle, they teleport back to you, completely ruining the management aspect of the game. Also, unlike other Pikmin, Glow Pikmin are completely immune to all hazards. They're basically this game's version of Bulbamin, if Bulbamin were gods. However, even the Glow Pikmin don't hold a candle to Ochi is the complete antithesis of Pikmin's design. Ochi is the driving force behind every single awful gameplay decision in this game. Ochi's design is absolute garbage. Every single creature in Pikmin is designed to look strange and alien, but Ochi is designed to look so cute that ironically he ends up looking even more uncanny than the walking carrots these games are centered around. This makes no sense to me since in Pikmin 1, Olimar is shown to have a pet named Bulby that actually fits into the Pikmin universe, and it looks cute in its own complete abomination sort of way. Ochi completely ruins Pikmin's gameplay and overshadows the actual Pikmin in every way. You are forced to use Ochi for 20 minutes before finally unlocking Pikmin, and by then the Pikmin feel incredibly useless with how little they can do compared to him, especially with the new limit. Ochi can do everything Pikmin can do. He can carry things, he can break walls, he can attack creatures, and you can unlock colors that make him immune to every single hazard in the game. Ochi is able to carry the player and all of their Pikmin on his back. This completely ruins combat. Doing this completely negates the fundamental element of managing a large horde of Pikmin because now they're all bunched up together. This makes enemies that are supposed to crush you incredibly weak because there's so little for them to hit now. Also, because the Pikmin are being carried, you no longer have to worry about how fast they are, making white Pikmin's faster speed completely useless in combat, and purple Pikmin's slower speed completely negligible. This somehow makes the game even more poorly balanced. Ochi can swim, carrying all of your Pikmin across lakes. This both replaces the Ice Pikmin's ability to turn lakes into ice, and the Blue Pikmin's ability to go into water. Ochi can sniff out objectives and automatically run towards them. This completely ruins the exploration in the game because you no longer have to go out and discover things yourself. Ochi can charge into enemies, stunning them, and launching all of your Pikmin onto them at once. This is completely game-breaking and makes the game even easier than it should already be with every single change mentioned so far. Ochi replaces the Pikmin in their own game and ruins every single aspect that made the series so unique and fun in the first place, probably so Nintendo can sell toys. I wasn't expecting Pikmin 4 to be a complete masterpiece. Pikmin 3 was no doubt a difficult game to follow up, but I at least expected them to try. Pikmin 4 seems to be trying to do what Odyssey did to Mario, completely fuck up everything that made the series good in the first place so that the low IQ children of modern day can enjoy it. However, Pikmin is a very complicated game compared to Nintendo's other offerings. More than any other Nintendo franchise, Pikmin is made for an older audience, and that's why neutering it like this doesn't work. Welp, Nintendo. I didn't think you'd be able to kill all of my favorite franchises in one generation, but you sure proved me wrong.